I've decided that I'd quite like to get a train up to Scotland and not get one back, because I'm going to be running back home to Nottingham. I'll be up bright and early tomorrow morning in order to start my run, my self-supported run back to Nottingham. Let's see how I get on. Oh yeah, English border, 450 yards. It's about 500 kilometres back to Nottingham. I've not got a support crew, so it'll be meeting me, you know, in a truck at various points. The other bit of added challenge, I suppose, is that my graduation for my PhD is in 2 weeks today. In 2 weeks' time, I have to be back in Nottingham. That has to happen. Maybe this isn't the best place to hitchhike, I don't really know. Soup from a mug. I don't know if the GoPro will do it justice to just how many of the bastards there are. Good morning. Well, I am just packing up the last of my stuff from my hotel room. I'm very glad I made the decision to stay here, as it absolutely pissed it down all of last night. I went out to get a pizza and was absolutely soaked after pretty much dodging the rain all day. I was very glad not to be camping, and I would have been camping somewhere up on that hill over there, so about 200 metres higher up. It would have been cold. Last night I changed the route, and I thought it would basically just be a bit more enjoyable if I spent 12 days rather than 11, make the remaining days a little bit shorter. So yes, as I was saying, I decided to change the route. The reason being, I just found day 2 and day 3 in particular really difficult, and I decided it would be a bit easier going if I spent 12 days running rather than 11 and decreased the total distance from 550 kilometers to about 500 kilometers. Now that still means I'm averaging a marathon a day, so still quite a lot, but not quite as daunting as 50 kilometers per day. Having only decided to change the route by the time I got to Hexham, the first 3 days of running were obviously the same, and actually the next 2 days of running, where I'd go to Durham and then Bowes, would be exactly the same as the original route as well. However, from here I plan to deviate from my original plan. Instead of taking a detour west to Dent that would add on 50 kilometers to the journey and take me out of my way, I now decided instead to plunge straight south through the Yorkshire Dales. I'd booked accommodation in Skipton and Sorby Bridge in anticipation of making good time instead of taking this deviation. From here, I'll climb up into the Peak District and the Derbyshire Dales, meeting up with the original route. And by the time I get to the campsite that I was planning to stay at Torside Reservoir, I should be back on track, both on the original route and on the Pennine Way. And from there, I can head back to Nottingham in exactly the same way that I'd planned before. As I said in the previous video, the finish line will still be at the Star Inn in Beeston, where I shall be having a celebratory pint when I've finished this ridiculous mission. And that is the updated route, 500 kilometers and a little bit of change, and 9 more days in which to do it. Today I'm going to be going to Durham, and if you kind of look on the map, my plan is to go to Durham and then just south of Barnard Castle, and it looks like we're kind of going quite a long way out of the way. It's like, why aren't you going directly south? Well, there's 2 reasons. The first reason is we miss out quite a lot of the hills. North Pennines are quite mountainous. The paths that go to Durham are a lot more flat. It's not completely flat, but it will be significantly flatter, so it should be lots easier going. The second and more important reason is it's just nostalgic, and it's my trip and I can do what I want. Before all of that though, I had to meet up with an old friend of mine. Hey up. Oh, it's a long time no see. How you doing? Alright, well, first things first, I actually don't know the digital. I think we're going that way, but I haven't checked. But how you doing?
I'm good. Ready for today.
I'm not too broken. I feel like I shouldn't be complaining at all, because I think when I met you for John O'Groats to Land's End, you were like 21 days in.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
and then we did.
It was worse the day
55k and then 72k, and then you just went the next day, and then you had a washout the next. It was dreadful. Yeah, it won't be that bad today.
Is your tent dried out?
Tent's dried out. I tried it out in the hotel room last night.
Yes, I've been joined by my friend and erstwhile running companion Matt Hill, who I had met at Durham University several years before. And so I guess for Matt as well as me, this was going to be a very nostalgic and very enjoyable jaunt through County Durham. Now, Matt had done some crazy stuff in the past before, including, as we alluded to there, a over 1,300 kilometre run from John O'Groats to Land's End. And like me, he was entirely self-supported when he did it because he is mental. And I feel like it should go without saying, obviously, Matt will not be helping me in any way today. He will not be taking any of my stuff for me. We rejoined the action 8 kilometres into the start of day 4, having set an incredibly rapid pace that morning.
We are doing an absolutely rapid pace. We've been going for an hour, and we've gone 8.5 kilometres. It's been flat mostly, but it's insanely quick. No, are you feeling fresh?
I mean, I'm fresh. I feel like I'm
I don't like
maybe
you.
pushing you too fast.
No, I think it's good because we know the rain's coming in later.
Yeah, we want to beat that.
I do feel the sooner we can get there, the better. I'm also definitely feeling better than I was yesterday. I haven't been harassed by flies. I haven't had to do a massive big climb, and I'm not running on an empty stomach. It's all good. It's all good.
With Matt by my side, the miles continued to pass quickly, thanks in no small part to the overcast, cool conditions of the morning and the incredibly flat terrain. Unfortunately, however, the nice flat road eventually gave way to an absolutely massive hill.
Hey, up me duck.
Pardon?
I'm going to Nottingham, mate. I'm trying to run, not this bit, because it's a bit hilly, but I've started in Berwick on Tweed. That was 4 days ago, and I'll be in Nottingham in about a week or so. Yeah. Cheers, pal. Yeah.
I'm just joining him for this leg.
Yeah, he's taking it
Durham
easy.
and then Barnard Castle.
Yeah. So we're Durham today, and then Barnard Castle tomorrow. Yeah.
Not on the uphill.
No, definitely not. Not with these packs. Yeah. What's up, man? Yeah. Have a nice day. You wouldn't get that in the south, would you? You'd just be like, fuck are you doing?
Here.
Yeah.
Seconds me.
It's fucking steep, man. Hey up. I wanted to tell him nearly there, but I thought that might be a lie. From running downhill for a while. Oh, I'm feeling all mackem because we're in County Durham way, eh, lad? This is only the third county I've been in all trip. Northumberland
and what?
Scottish borders.
Okay.
For a little tiny bit, but mostly Northumberland. 150 kilometres of Northumberland, and now finally County Durham. Go on, me son.
The scorching pace continued as we gassed it down the last hill in Northumberland and prepared for the first ascent of County Durham. Only the second one of the day, but another massive one. We were hopeful that we could make it to our lunch stop before the heavens opened, but unfortunately we were slightly waylaid.
He's about to piss it down with rain, but he can't help himself. He's found a house, an abandoned house.
An asylum.
And there used to be an asylum. It's full shutter.
If it wasn't raining, I would make us go in.
I know. I am actually a bit sorry that he's gone, but he's just about to, like, all around me, I can just see like clouds. Not there, to be fair, but I think the weather's coming in from this way. It's raining so hard over there. We've got about 2k to go to lunch, so I think we should crack on as soon as this hill is over.
How close are we? Do we need to take shelter?
Hopefully pretty close. We'll go to the bus stop, I can have a look. About 100 metres ahead of you. It was inevitable. He's officially pissing it down. Yeah, this is easily the heaviest rain I've had so far.
We were so close to being dry.
We were
Literally 5 more minutes so we would have made it here.
Yeah. I mean, my shoes are wet, but I was already very sweaty, so I don't think it ultimately made that much difference. That is a river now. That is 5 minutes of rain.
We checked the map and realised that we were only 5 minutes away from our planned lunch stop. Since we were already thoroughly soaked, we decided that it was best to push on through the rain and get some lunch sooner.
A little bit of the best lunch. I believe those are Horbly Blongers. I'd love to get like a thunder rumble. Maybe I'll just edit it in.
You can edit it in here.
Yeah, we heard it exists.
Whoa, that was so loud.
Oh my god, did you hear that? Gee willikers.
I heard some.
That was certainly a thunder. I think it's going to rain again, mate.
I'm not so sure. I think we're going to be lucky.
Mm.
I can see it over there, but the wind is moving in that direction.
I think, like, that is the valley. That's the Lanchester Valley, isn't it? That's where we're going, right?
No, it will have been gone by the time we get there.
We definitely turn left in a minute.
Okay.
We'll see. Will we get soggy? Keep watching to find out. I know. Should we maybe find a pub?
We maintained the tasty pace that we'd set since this morning, tactically deciding to have a break in a pub in Lanchester to avoid the worst of the afternoon rain before continuing.
There's the rain. Shit.
How did you predict?
I was hoping my prediction would make it wrong. How's the nostalgia factor?
I don't think
I never ran on this one. So Matt and I spent most of our lives in Durham running on these old railway paths.
But not this one.
Not this, well, yes this one, but not this far out. On misspent youth. Back in good old days,
Olden times.
when Britain still mined coal, they were all used for delivering coal to various places from the collieries. But now they're fantastic because they're pretty much flat the entire way. So yeah, flat and pretty straight, so it's pretty nice to run on. Very good for a tempo run.
Despite the pleasantly flat railway paths, our pace was now slowing as we were wilting in the afternoon sun. The temperature had increased and it had started to slowly become more humid and muggy throughout the day. Couple this with the pace at which we'd been running that morning and we were suddenly finding it quite difficult to run in the sweaty heat of the summer. We were quite grateful for the shade that the trees provided. Suddenly, however, we found ourselves in very familiar territory indeed.
Beautiful. That's where I used to live. And home of the best pub quiz in the world. Sorry, Tony, but it's true. The old elm tree.
The pace rallied as our exhausted and sweaty legs found a little bit extra energy to carry us down the steep, cobbled streets and into the very heart of Durham. As we crossed the River Wear on Framwellgate Bridge, nostalgia washed over us like a cosy blanket. We paused briefly to enjoy some of the warm sunshine that was gently irradiating our faces before continuing onwards to our accommodation for that evening in the form of Hatfield College.
Oh, fuck me.
Who did it?
Done it. Stop that. 45.7. Just a nice post-dinner snack. So it was another good day. 4 days done now. A third of the way there, which feels really nice. And I've got the longest day coming up tomorrow. Hopefully Matt is going to be able to join for at least some of it, but I'm still feeling pretty good. My body isn't quite broken yet. Very tired today, but it's a good day despite all the rain. Tomorrow's going to be sunny, no rain, but very windy, I think, so a different trial tomorrow. It's a different trial every day. But yeah, another good day done.
50k to do today. It's okay, I'm not tired. Oh.
I think this is the first time in 2 days that I've got dry and fairly clean clothes. It's astounding. So I've been hand washing all of my clothes every night, but they haven't always been able to dry because it's been so humid overnight. But what a treat, dry and clean.
Day 5 would see me embark on the longest leg of the run yet at 51 kilometres and leave Durham via the old railway paths yet again, this time going through the old coal mining towns of Brandon and Willington before heading towards Bishop Auckland, where I would be saying goodbye to Matt. From there, I would continue onwards towards Barnard Castle. After leaving Barnard Castle, I would cross the River Tees, and then there'll be a sharp ascent to the final destination of the day and the town of Bowes, where I'll be spending the night. For now though, I could enjoy the pleasantly fine but cool summer's morning and say goodbye to the cathedral before crossing over the River Wear a second time, this time via Prebend's Bridge.
Alright. Gonna be all tired out. Can you believe this man ran from John O'Groats to Land's End? I certainly can't.
I'll wake up in a bit.
I was saying yesterday that I always had a huge amount of respect for Matt for doing that run. But I'm even more in awe now because we're trying to work out what you were averaging per day. And I think it was maybe 55 kilometres. Maybe 60 on average. I don't know, it was crazy high. It was crazy high.
It was like, yeah, it was over 40 most days.
It was easily over 40.
Yeah.
Because if I'm right, it's about 900 miles.
Yep.
And there were 21 days of running.
28.
28 days in total, but you had rest days.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like 3.
I thought there were more than that. And like short days as well.
Yeah. No, I have to look it up.
Yeah, we will verify that. Anyway, we are coming up to the place. We're not going in, obviously.
Why?
Because it can't be asked. I mean, we can try. This is where we met.
All
The
those
college,
years ago.
the college where we became colleagues.
I don't remember how we met.
I think I'd just seen you, like going out for loads of runs, and I
across
was
the
like,
bar.
yeah, in the smoky room. I think I'd just seen you going for runs, and I was like, do you want to go for a run together? Can we be friends? Okay, now we've got to get a starting selfie. believe. Yeah, that one up there.
Which floor?
Top one, penthouse, mate. I was sick out of that window. Yeah.
Did it land or did it trip?
No, I got a good reach, good projectile. Which one were you? Were you that one then?
I was like first floor, this one, but like facing out.
Should we try and find it?
Sure. I was like the penultimate one. Yeah, I think.
Hey, which floor?
Either that one or that one. Yeah, it was like one up. I reckon that one.
There he is. That's where this man used to live. Oh, the rotating feather's still there. The shitty rotating feather. You what? You don't remember the rotating feather?
Wasn't that a big deal because they were like, oh, they spent this money on a fucking rotating feather.
Yeah, and okay. It's just a nice bit of art that was slagged off by every single person. I don't know why. Oh, look, he's spinning. Oh, the ducks are over there as well. The DLBs, the duck-like birds.
As we ran into Langley Moor, Matt insisted that we made another small deviation so that we could visit his old house.
Langley Moor.
I'm sorry if you're from Langley Moor, but I've always thought this was a depressing high street. Usually when I saw it, it was just winter and grey and like drizzly. It's not my favourite bit of the northeast.
We headed back for the sanctuary of the old railway paths, and I reminded Matt of my policy of not running up hills, Marnus Labuschagne style.
You know what it is? No run! No run! No run! No run! No run! No run, Smudge!
Reunited with the nice flat railway paths, we passed these easy miles by talking about past races and the topic of whether I was too much of a marathon tryhard.
The idea of forcing myself to do like time-based arithmetic in my head, it was way less appealing than just listening to some music.
It was only like fucking hour. Yeah, but
I guess it could be distracted.
If you want the time, man.
Okay.
If you want the time. Just made it to Willington, which is where all of my grandpa's family were from. Very northeastern, old coal mining town. All of my family were miners on that side of the family. So we're still following the railway that way. And we've done about 14k so far, a bit less than 2 hours, so I think we're doing pretty good. Oh, it's a bit windy.
The first 20 kilometres that day with Matt flew by, and after a hasty, tasty brunch in Spoons, calorie-dense, fueling me for the afternoon, it was unfortunately time to say goodbye to him. It would be immensely sad not just because I wouldn't have his company, but because the miles I knew this afternoon would go much slower without him. Thank you for your service, Matt. It was a pleasure running with you.
Well, unfortunately we loitered in Spoons for a little bit too long, and Matt has now got 8 minutes to catch his train home, so he's had to flee. I'm just running after him. Sad to be saying goodbye to him, but it was very nice to have company for the last 65-70 kilometres or so. It's really made those miles fly by, and some of those miles could have been very, very difficult yesterday. 13 miles to Barnard Castle, and it's a gorgeous day. It's sunny, but there's a little tiny bit of drizzle, which is quite nice to cool me down. It's pretty windy, and I'm a bit annoyed because I've had a headwind for 5 fucking days now. I'm not kidding. It's changed direction every single day to be a headwind, whatever direction I'm running in. But the wind is quite nice because it dries off the sweat really quickly. So I'm not going to complain too much.
Upon leaving Bishop Auckland, I decided to leave the road behind as well, forgoing the beaten track for some of the older, less well-travelled parts of County Durham. I enjoyed making pleasantly serene progress along these overgrown footpaths that crisscross their way through the bucolic countryside of County Durham. After what seemed like no time at all on this lovely summer's day, I completed 5 marathons over the course of the run, and I decided to stop and refuel on Lucozade lemonade and crisps.
Just stopped in the amusingly named town of Staindrop for a late afternoon snack in the pub, and I met an old boy in there who'd claimed he'd ran Death Valley in his youth, which is pretty impressive, and he was dead impressed that I was running to Nottingham. Nice people.
Sadly, upon leaving Staindrop, I now had to contend with 8 kilometres on a busy A road, all of which were into a vicious headwind.
This wind.
The weather worsened yet further as I approached Barnard Castle and 45 kilometres for the day, and I now had rain and wind to contend with. I decided to take refuge in a small cafe in Barnard Castle therefore, and I was pleasantly surprised when an old couple offered to pay for a cup of tea for me after hearing about my travails on my mission so far. Soon the summer shower passed and it was time to leave Barnard Castle.
Ooh. Oh, I like this river. Oh, this is the River Tees.
And I braced myself for the final trial of the day, 7 kilometres to my accommodation, including a 300-metre climb, into a headwind of course, bringing the grand total up to a huge 52 kilometres for that day's running.
Longest day yet. Nearly 52 kilometres. I'm very happy to say I'm at accommodation. What a huge day today. 52k, absolutely smashed it. And thanks again to Matt for the first 20k. Huge help as always, just made those early few kilometres flow by. Could have been a lot longer day today without him. Started at 8 and it's now 6 PM, so it's a massively goal shift. The hotel is really, really nice actually. I'm going to miss it when I'm camping tomorrow. But they've stopped serving food, technically, a couple hours ago. The guy's really nice, Glenn. He took one look at me and he was like, do you need feeding? I was like, yes please. So he's going to rustle up something for me now. Top man. Yeah, again, just like fantastic people in the northeast. I've had someone pay for my cup of tea today because they've been dead impressed with what I'm doing. I've had them reopen kitchens for me. Brilliant. Love it here. I'm gonna get a shower and then I'm gonna eat until I can no longer eat anymore.
And that concludes part 2 of the mission from Scotland back to Nottingham. Thanks very much for watching and see you next time.
Oh, it's God's own county. We're in Yorkshire. 250 kilometres for the run in total. Fuck me. It's quite strong, that current. That was deeply unpleasant. My right knee is just starting to cause me a bit of pain. That is amazing.